Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series here at Watkins Glen Speedway, or Watkins Glen International, here on iRacing. We're getting ready for a double header race tonight. That's right, 2 races. We'll have a 25-lap event. Then we'll pay the points for that race, and then we'll fully invert the field and have a second race. As we see your fastest driver on the track currently, the 68 of Devin Buchino, out on track. As he stuffs it into the barrels there. See, Eddie Moore is currently 3rd fastest. So he makes his way through turns 1 and 2, or towards turn number 2, and now he's going to catch the barrels there. And then David Hartney, currently the 4th fastest. Able to slide that truck around this tricky little road course. Let's take a look at the track information here. You can see what makes this track so tricky. Turn 1 is downhill and 90 degrees to the right. Then you come up the hill through the S's towards the backstretch into the bus stop. Around the carousel, downhill, down the stretch to another 90-degree left-hander. Then your final right-hander there before coming on to the start-finish stretch. But the track temperature is the real story. Yeah, the air is only 79 degrees, but the track temperature is 125 degrees, making this track extremely slick. These drivers are going to be slip-sliding around all night long. So watch for that here tonight. We are getting ready to get underway here at Watkins Glen. I apologize, I'm having issues getting these points up onto the screen, so just bear with me a moment while I get them on here for you. See Jacob Albert out on track right now. One of our rookies had a great run last week. See if he can follow that up this week here tonight. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. We see Jeffrey Belk up at the top of the board. Devin Buchino sits in 2nd. Eddie Morris in 3rd. Joe Wright and Dustin Dean, your top 5. Kyle Williams in 6th. Michael Lawrence in 7th. David Wright, Michael Provo, Austin Blaylock, Brett Merle, and Zachary Cox round out the field here. Or round out your points, excuse me, coming into tonight here at Watkins Glen. Time has expired here in practice. We're getting ready to qualify. Before that, we want to thank all of our great partners here tonight. Of course, Morris Customs as the series sponsor. If you're looking for a new iRacing paint job, check out Morris Customs on Facebook at facebook.com/Morris Customs. Of course, also want to thank Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and racing needs or setup needs. Visit raceepi.com. Of course, Intensity Broadcasting for all your iRacing and Intensity League merchandise, swag, as well as some of our novelty t-shirts and Atliat Manuisa's gear as well. You can check out intensitybroadcasting.com. And of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Of course, Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. You see Jacob Albert out there on track right now, getting ready to do his qualifying attempt. 10 minutes, plenty of time to get these drivers around the racetrack here tonight. See him come off of the final turn 11, down towards the start-finish line and downhill. Yes, we know there's not 11 turns actually in this configuration, but you still consider the last two corners, turns 10 and 11, as you see him come through turn 1 and up the hill to the S's, turns 2, 3, and 4. Using a little bit of those rumple strips to try to get that truck to turn. Down this long backstretch towards the bus stop, inner loop. Great passing zone right here. Little chicane to really break up the speed. Coming into turn 5, the carousel. Down the hill, bypassing the boot, which is the big section of the track here. That's why we say turns 10 and 11 down here at the end of this straightaway. A lot of runoff room here to the right. You'll see drivers using as much room as they can there as Albert comes off of turn number 11 and down to the start-finish line. Jeffrey Bell, currently your fastest driver. Heavy braking down into the bus stop. Sliding that truck around as he makes his way through the carousel, turn number 5. Jacob Albert, currently the fastest truck here in qualifying. This belt comes through turns 10 and 11 for the final time. Tries to keep that truck off the wall. He will. A lot of room there off of turn number 11 and down to the stripe. And Jeffrey Belk will stay in that second position as we see Albert currently still in the top spot. Off of turn number 10 and down to turn number 11. Could we see a rookie here on the pole here tonight? Coming down to the stripe. And Albert improves on his, or no, he does not improve on his time any. He's going to currently stay in that pole position. We've got some fast drivers getting ready to come take the green flag as we see Devin Bucciano coming down through turns 10 and 11 right now. Austin Blaylock makes his way through the S's. He's on his second lap. Currently sits in the 5th spot. Down the backstretch and into the inner loop. You want to use a lot of curb here to help the truck turn and take the shortest way around the track as he makes his way down through the carousel. And turning the run off at turn number 5, there's a lot of room. These drivers can take that all the way to the wall here. You see Blaylock stays on the racing surface part of that corner. But watch for some of these drivers really try to take advantage and run that all the way out to the wall, because you can save so much time sliding that truck all the way out as Blaylock makes his way off of turn number 11 down to the stripe. And Blaylock is going to put himself up into the 4th spot. Now, here's Devin Bucciano on his first of 2 flying laps. And Colin Willems just went up to the top of the board, knocking Albert off this top spot with a 1:14.59. Now Eddie Morris jumps over Colin Williams with a 1:13.82. What's Butchino going to do here as he comes off of turn number 11? This is a home racetrack for Devin here as he's going to slide into the third position currently. See Willems up into the bus stop chicane. Through the carousel, let's see how much of the racetrack he uses here off of turn number 5. See Eddie using all the racetrack off of turn 5 there, and really shows where Eddie's finding that speed. You see Butchino really using that curbing to his advantage, trying to save some speed. Eddie Morris now coming down to the stripe. And Eddie is going to currently stay on the pole. Devin coming to take the checkered flag here. Devin's going to stay currently in that third position. With 2 minutes left, we've got one driver left to qualify. That is the 11 of Brett Merle. Coming down to the stripe. Takes the green flag here on his first of 2 laps with a minute 40. He should be able to get at least 1 lap in here. See what lines up here tonight. Dave Hartney did make a qualifying attempt, unfortunately. Here on iRacing, if you go over the line and get a 1x or even a 0x, it does disallow your time. So I think Hartney may have overrun the boundaries just a little bit. That caused neither one of his times to count. Through the carousel, off of turn number 5. See these trucks really sliding around here tonight. We're going to watch for that all night long. We saw that in the Xfinity race a couple of weeks ago, just how hot and slick this track can be. So watch for that to come into play here as these drivers really try to hold on to these tires. Of course, 2 races here tonight. They will be able to get a fresh truck and tires for the second race, as Brett Merle goes 7th quickest. Though it doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to make a second lap. So there you have it. Qualifying has completed. Let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight. Eddie Morris is going to have the pole. Colin Willems to his outside in row number 1. Row 2 will find Devin Butchno and Jacob Aldberg. Then Jeff Belk and Derek Chaput back in row number 3. Brett Merle and Austin Blaylock roll off row 4, followed by David Wright and Brian Merle Jr. in row number 5. Row 6 will be Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Edward Manning. Then rounding out the field here tonight is the 43 of David Hartney. as the field makes their way through the final corner here. The pace car is going to take that hard right-hand turn onto pit road. And green flag is in the air. We are racing here as we have a little bit of a... oh, he just disappeared. Green flags in the air. 25 laps is the first race before we get a full invert. Is currently out in front. Colin Williams sits back in second. We've got side-by-side racing through the S's as Alberg's able to get out in front of Jeffrey Belk. Belk's going to slide into that 5th spot. And Brett Merle already up a spot in the 6th. Dave Hartney already gaining 2 spots as they make their way into the bus stop for the first time. And we've got a little guest here in the booth here. We've got the one and only Cody Moore. Cody, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Josh. How are you?
Doing well. Missed you, buddy. Glad to see you're doing well. Oh, we got one up in the wall here off of turn number 5. That's the 99 of Austin Blaylock as he's sliding backwards after catching the wall hard there. But, man, you know your way around this tricky road course here at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, my advice to everyone is always run a gear higher than you need.
Yeah, that's kind of the situation, especially in a race here tonight where the track temperature is so high, 125-degree track temperature. These trucks are really slip sliding around, and that's exactly what we're seeing here tonight. As it looks like Cody has some connection issues, not being able to stay connected here. There, he's back, and
yeah, having some technical difficulties with the setup.
It happens, man, but it's good to see you back here tonight. As Eddie Morris currently out in front of Colin Willems by 1.5 seconds. And,
man, Eddie having a good run.
Yeah, Eddie not known too much for his road course skills, but he's been putting in the work, and with those new pedals, it's definitely made a big difference for him as he's able to just slide through the field. And looks like another Merle, Brian Merle Jr. was in the wall just a moment ago, and of course Brian Merle Jr., as we know, just had a brand new baby boy, so he's out there for the first time since this baby was born, and good to see him out on track as well.
He certainly made it back quicker than Will Witt did.
That is for sure. As you see Dave Hartney taking a look down to the inside of Austin Blaylock. Hartney trying to take over that 9th position. Heavy braking zone down the hill into turn number 1. Hartney trying to get the power down to try to set him up. Now you can't really pass up the hill. Everybody wants to stay single file up through the S's here. But that bus stop on the backstretch, that is probably one of the biggest passing zones as Hartney catches the wall through the S's, and he is still sliding around. He's hard into the outside wall and the inside wall. I think that's going to do it for that 43 here in this first race.
Yeah, that looked like heavy damage.
Fortunately for him, he'll be able to start near the front on the full invert for the second race.
Can they make it on fuel?
No, they cannot. They will need to pit at least one time before the stage break, quote unquote. So that's
the gap between Eddie and Colin seems to be holding steady.
Yeah, Eddie currently 1.2 seconds up on Colin. Colin got a great run there off of turn number 1, though. He just cut huge into that lead. He just gained 2 tenths coming into the S's here. So Colin's trying to find a little bit of speed here. Might be able to get a sniff of draft. And even though it's a road course, down this backstretch, you can get a good draft and a good run into the bus stop.
Yeah, I'd like to see him going wider into the bus stop there. He seems really shallow. Wow, it looks like Pacino even caught him there.
Yeah, talk about using a lot of racetrack. You can use a ton of racetrack here off of turn number 5. You see Eddie all the way out there, and you see these guys kind of cutting it short off the corner. And how much more speed can you save driving it off the corner that wide?
I've never had the going wide work for me here, but I've only run it a few times since they added the pavement here. But yeah, like I said, I've never really had much speed off going wide. I've kind of found that just staying within that rumble strip is almost the same time, at least for me.
Buccino right
Wow.
here
Oh,
on the
here we
back
go.
bumper. Almost made contact with Colin. Had to get on the brakes hard to keep from running in the back of that 17 machine. And while that's been going on, Eddie is just stretching his lead. He's out to a 2.2 second lead over Colin Willems. And that checkup really slowed down Buccino as he's able to, or he's fallen back just over a second now to Willems.
Yeah, people underestimate the S's too. You can pick up a lot of time through the S's if you get them right.
See just how much of this track. Oh, Eddie got a little loose there. That's why he ran wide, but this track is very slick here tonight. 125-degree temperature. That is going to make it incredibly tough, not just to get the power down, but it's going to be tough on those front tires too.
Oh yeah, he's giving it all he's got.
See that 8 machine doing a little Tokyo drift, and it's Colin Willems. Gets down into turn at number 1, and you want to make sure that you don't have too much rear brake in these hot temperatures as well. It's really easy to get on the binders a little too hard and move that thing around as we got our first driver down on the pit road. That is the 11 of Brett Merle. And
this looks like a team decision.
Yeah, Cheeseburger also down on pit road. So a Cheeseburger Racing and a Neon Racing truck down on pit road. Eddie using those curbs to get that truck to rotate and stay out in front of Colin Willems, and he is continuing to pull away. Eddie last time by ran a 1:14.6. Willems ran a 1:14.8. And Buccino ran a 1:15.5.
Yeah, I would expect more fall off than that.
I'm wondering if Butch maybe locked up those front tires trying to stay off of Colin. Whoa, Butch got real loose there off at turn 11. I don't know if he maybe hurt those tires trying to stay off that 17 machine. As battle back here as Alberg goes down to the wall, allows Jeffrey Belk to go right on by. Belk moves up into the 4th spot.
Yeah, these trucks look really, really loose today.
Well,
oh no.
Brett Merle loops it around in the bus stop. Let's take a look, see what happened to that 11 machine. It looks like maybe a little too hard into the corner, a little too much of that curbing, and yeah, that got that truck a little out of shape and slides it down, keeps it off the wall.
Impressive.
Right after that, it looks like Brian Merle Jr. had some issues in turn number 10. Oh, hard impact with that tire barrier between turns 10 and 11, and I imagine he's going to make his way down onto pit road, which he does.
Yep. Takes a right-hander.
And Devin's gotten around Colin. Let's take a look to see how this pass was made. Right through the carousel. Colin washes
wow,
up the
that's
track
rare.
A little bit. Yeah, Colin washed up the track just a little bit, allowed Butch to go right on by. That puts that 68 Dev Sports Card machine up into the 2nd position. But still a 3-second gap up to Eddie Morris, who's currently up in the lead. And with the full invert, you know, you want to get those points for winning the race here, but that means you're going to have to start way in the back for the 2nd race.
Yeah, luckily there's only 13 competitors, but I'll tell you from experience, it is hard to move up through the pack in these races.
Saw that 68 got a little loose there in the middle of the carousel. Really shows the struggle that these drivers are having as we take a look on the right side there, and you can see air temperature 79 degrees. Track temperature is down to 105, but still 105 degrees is pretty hot, especially on an old worn out surface like you have here at Watkins Glen.
Now, if you have to pit, do you take the splash and go with no tires at the end, or do you split it on tires and come in at the middle?
Me personally, I'd come in the middle, take those tires, because we can see the fall off is really coming. Eddie Morris has already fallen off almost 2 seconds from his fastest lap. So 2 seconds of fall off in less than 10 laps is a lot of fall off.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. I've done it here with taking no tires at the end and just basically powering your way through the last few laps, and I've done it halfway, and I've lost on both strategies before, so see what they do.
Right along here with the 68 of Devin Butchino, you can see just working that wheel in there, trying to keep that truck going in the right direction, which for some of these drivers tonight has been a bit of a struggle.
You just want to be as smooth as possible.
Keeps in third gear there through turn number 10. Sounds like he stayed in third gear for turn 11 as well. Get that dashboard there. Yeah, third gear through turn 1. That's kind of surprising to me. Normally turn 1 is a second gear turn, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, is he trying to stretch it on fuel and make it? Because turn 1 and third makes, yeah, that's unusual.
Up in the fourth gear early as well, up through the S's. Coming down to the bus stop, drops down the third. And keeps in third gear through the bus stop as well. So we see the gear indicator there on the bottom right of the screen. So very interesting. Now we ride along with Eddie Morris. We'll see how Eddie's running this track. Down to second gear for turn number 10. Back up to third and then down to second for turn 11. So Eddie doing a little more shifting. I can understand, oh, really loose there. Great job of holding on to it. I can see dropping down into third gear for turn 10, but turn 11, I figured that's always been a second gear turn.
Yeah, you can tell Eddie's getting all he can out of those tires. I think he's a little tight getting in, a little loose getting off.
Even though Butchino's running a totally different strategy here with the shifting, he is starting to catch Eddie.
Yeah, maybe just staying in third just really takes care of those tires and doesn't have him burn it up as much.
See the last few laps, Butchino's been a little bit faster. Last time by, he was almost 3/10 faster. Lap before, almost 2/10 faster. 2/10 faster than the lap before that. So Devin cutting into Eddie's lead slightly as we are coming to 14 laps to go.
Yeah, and as I watch Devin's truck compared to Eddie's, you can see it's just not fishtailing as much. It's not as tight getting in. I think Devin's just really taking care of those tires a lot better than Eddie right now. Yeah, I mean, you can see that he's gaining at a pretty good pace at this point.
See the 11 of Brett Merle back on pit road. I think he is bended again, and he is trying to get that truck repaired. See, Cheeseburger Lawrence is a lap down. Brian Merle Jr. just had more issues. He was just off track. Doesn't look like he did any damage to the truck, but he is really, really slow here coming down the front stretch. You get a different view of this truck here, and well, the engine just blew on that machine, so I take that back. He did a lot more damage to that truck than I thought he did.
He's having a rough day.
It's a good thing we don't have the radio on, or else we'd be having to hit the dump button pretty quick.
Butchino under a second now. Yeah, he's closing up fast. Yeah, and you can see off that corner too. You can see how uneasy Eddie's truck was compared to Devin's there.
Now Devin's starting to push it a little bit. You saw a little fishtail out of that 68 machine. As these two come down into turn number 1. As the laps wind down now, both trucks are starting to look a little less stable through the corners, but they are pulling away from Colin Williams. I was going to say they're pulling away from Colin Williams. That's because Colin Williams is down on pit road along with the 37 of Derek Chaput.
Yeah, they must be trying to half with tires then. It's gonna be interesting what Eddie and Devin do here.
Through the carousel. Oh, slideways for the 8 machine off of turn number 5. And that allows Devin to pull right there on the back bumper. And like you said, Eddie's trying to give it everything he's got right now.
Yeah, and he missed the corners some there too. Yeah, Devin just needs to be patient here. If I was Eddie, I'd probably come into the pits, but that's what Devin's going to do.
Yeah, so Devin Butchino down on pit road, giving up that second spot. Now, if you're Eddie Morris, you see that in your mirror. Does that mean you come in this time, or do you try to stretch it to the end?
If you're taking tires, you absolutely come in this time. If you're just doing splash, you hope for the best and go to the end. But yeah, you can't stay out on, 3-second fall off tires.
Now, if you are going to splash it to the end, do you kind of back down a little bit right here, save these tires a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And make your splash as quick as possible, too.
Well, that's going to put Jeffrey Belk up into the second spot. We'll see how his truck's attitude looks as it comes through the bus stop here.
Using all the curb.
And for those that don't know, Jeff is actually racing injured. He's been experiencing some pain in his wrist, but he's able to wheel this truck around this demanding road course and hold on to that second spot currently.
So yeah, I think I was going to say, I think with Colin getting that close to Devin again, I think we can see what the value of getting tires is, because I think Colin came in a lap or two earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, Devin hit on lap number 13. It's only a lap, so Colin came in on lap 12. And the gap between Colin and Devin now is 2 seconds, and Colin's actually eating into that gap just a little bit with his tires up to temperature, where Devin's are still a little bit on the cooler side. Not quite up to temperature and up to pressure just yet.
Did Eddie come in or stay out?
Eddie is still out on track. Excuse me. Running 1/16s. To Devin last time by ran that one's not going to count. So we'll Colin ran a 1:14. I was going to say Devin ran a 1:40, but that's because of the pit stop in there as well. So now that Eddie doesn't have that pressure from behind, he looks a lot smoother out there on the racetrack. And Eddie's coming down onto pit road.
Yeah, I think he had to do that a lap earlier. We'll see what the gap is when he comes out.
But Jeff Belk stays out, takes over the lead. He's going to lead a lap here tonight. And Dave Wright currently sits in the second spot, the home track for him. Lives right up the road in Rochester. So a couple drivers who consider this their home track would be both Devin and David here.
Yeah, I've heard Devin talk about this track before. I mean, this is definitely what he considers his home track, and he definitely wants to do well here.
So Belk out in the lead currently. Looks like he might be trying to make that stretch strategy work as we have 10 laps to go.
Did Eddie come out in front of Devin then?
Eddie did indeed come out in front of Devin. Eddie.
Nice work.
Eddie took just a splash of fuel.
Oh, no tires.
No tires on the 8 machine. He was only stationary for 6 seconds.
Yeah, I don't like this then. If Devin's only 3 seconds behind him, he's gotta settle in here and run some solid laps here.
Yep, Jeffrey Belk just made his way down pit road, so that's going to give the lead over to Dave Wright. And Dave Wright is going to lead his lap here at Watkins Glen. But yeah, the race for the, I think the race for the win right now is between Eddie and Devin as they are catching Dave Wright, who's only 7.5 seconds out in front of Eddie and Devin. That gap is closing quickly.
Yeah, I think for that fuel strategy to work, you wanted to go longer. For not taking tires though, it seems like Eddie gave up a lot of time. I don't know if he had a problem in the pits or something, but to me that seems like he would have come out a lot more in front of Devin there.
Well, we can take a look here at the timing here as you see Butch slowly catching right there. So we see the pit stop time between these two drivers as Butch is going right on by.
Oh, hold on to it.
Yep, so 6.1 seconds for Eddie and 15.1 seconds for Butch. But the real tale of the story here is the pit lane time. So even though Eddie was much quicker pit stop, his pit lane time was a lot slower. Devin was on pit road for 47 seconds and Eddie was on pit road for 38 seconds. Even though that's 11 seconds, that pit stop, something happened because Eddie must have missed his pit stall.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That had to have happened because yeah, that 11 seconds. I mean,
we're missing 4 seconds there in that pit road time and pit stop time.
Yeah, I don't know if the math would have worked out in his favor. Maybe the tires would have leveled off, but it would have been a much better race, that's for sure.
And do you learn from this? Because the next race we know is going to be 5 laps longer. Is there something you learned from this race that you take over to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Eddie's got time to crunch the numbers. I know Joe Wright's a strategy whiz, so maybe they can run the numbers and see if splashing wouldn't have worked anyway. But I would think with 5 laps longer on the next race, I think you want to take tires at this point after seeing what happened to Eddie.
So 7 laps to go here in the first race of the doubleheader. Dave Wright still out in front by 4.5 seconds over Devin Butchnow. And Dave just putting some solid laps together. He's not running the fastest. He's running about 2 seconds a lap slower than Devin, but consistently. We got one around. Looks like Jacob Alberg having some issues in turn number 1.
Yeah, D-Wright's putting down some good laps. Looks smooth.
Butch is catching him here. That gap is now just under 3 seconds as we're coming to 6 laps to go. Eddie Morse, though, also in danger of losing that 3rd spot as Colin Williams is slowly catching that 8 machine.
Yeah, when you're out there like Eddie right now, it's just a helpless feeling. The truck's not doing what you want. You can't find grip with a search warrant, and yeah, it's just you do what you can, but you just see that person in the mirror get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Can't find grip with a search warrant. I like that one. That's a new one. I like that.
Well, it's almost as good as anywheres.
So Eddie trying to hold on to that third spot. And Dave Wright trying to hold on to that top spot. Coming to 5 laps to go, though, I think D Wright's not going to be able to stretch it to get the win, but have a good points night here. And D Wright's having a good season. He's up in the points right now, trying to hold on to it. He's had a couple good runs. He's been showing some speed the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see more contenders coming out.
Dave Wright currently 8th in points, and has had a couple of top 5s, and really trying to make something happen this season for him. Of course, the new wheel and pedals for him as well, running that Moza setup there, and made the switch from VR over to triples, and it seems like it's working for him.
Is that what pedals is Eddie? No, Eddie's always had Fanatec, hasn't he?
Yeah, Eddie's got the Fanatec, the CSLs, but he's got that direct drive now, so that makes a big difference in the wheel. So
yeah, that's a huge. You can really feel the car a lot more. Yeah, Devin just needs to be patient. He knows D Wright's got a pit.
Or does he have to pit? I mean, he's been running a little bit slower laps. Could he have saved a few laps here?
That I don't know. I don't know how close they are on fuel, but I mean, it seems like Devin's had no problem closing in here. But yeah, if D Wright can somehow make it work, he could either hold off Devin or get a solid podium here.
Well, 4 laps to go, and Devin's trying to make the move down to the inside as they come through turn number 1 and down the little short chute towards the S's. Again, you say
Colin Willems around Eddie.
Yep, Colin got around Eddie. We talk about these S's here, not a passing zone, but off of the corner, you can get a good run, as we see Devin doing, trying to run the inside here, down into the bus stop, trying to outbrake David Wright into the bus stop, and Butch is going to take over that top spot.
Yeah, nice pass.
Textbook. And really, I feel like there's only 3 really good passing zones at this track. Turn 1, the bus stop, and turn 9.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the most beneficial one's turn 1 on the end of that braking zone, but yeah, I'd agree with that. Everywhere else,
I should say
pretty hard to pass.
Turn 10, because you can get that run down that that short chute there by the boot into turn 10 and finish the pass off at turn 11. But if you don't finish that pass, you got that long front stretch into turn 1 where you can try to finish that pass.
Is Eddie in danger of going down another spot?
Well, Jeffrey Belk is almost 3 seconds back. He's 2.5 seconds behind Eddie with 3 laps to go. Last time by, Belk was about a second a lap quicker. So with 3 laps to go, it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think Eddie will bounce back next race. He's learned a lot. I think whatever mistake he made on pit road, he won't do again. And I think next time he'll take tires after seeing kind of how much he got ran down here.
Yeah, and we all know it's one thing to catch a driver. It's another thing to get it by him, especially on a track like this where there's not a whole lot of passing opportunities. So we'll see if Eddie's able to hold on to that top spot or if he's going to slide back another position.
Well, and keep in mind, there's clean passing, and then you got around him.
And we've seen both here at Watkins Glen in the past. But we know Belk is a very clean driver. I've never seen him really ruffle any feathers, especially not for a third. But Watkins Glen has put on some shows here in the SCSRA. We've seen plenty of contact on the final lap of a few races here. So we'll see if... oh, Eddie
Ooh.
really sideways off the corner.
Hang on to it, buddy. Man, that truck is just complaining.
So right on board with Eddie here. We can take a look at those hands and just see how much he's struggling for grip here. Man, it's such a helpless feeling when you have to put that much counter steer into the wheel. Listen to the RPMs as he comes off the corners here to see how much that truck is really sliding around here. What a slide right there. Sounds like he might have locked the tires up. Oh!
Oh, hang on to her.
He does lose that spot to Belk as you see Belk go right on by. So Eddie falls back into the 4th position, but the white flag is in the air for Devin Butchnose, catching some traffic now. He's catching the, I believe that's the 69 of Edward Manning. Yeah, that indeed is the 69 of Manning. And he's got a 4-second lead over Colin.
Yep, just put her in cruise control and take her home.
Yeah, for sure. As he's just kind of tucked in line behind that 69 machine. Doesn't look like he's pushing the issue too hard. As it wouldn't make sense to. Don't want to wreck yourself trying to get around a lap truck when you've got the win in hand.
I tell you what, Josh, these are the situations though that make me most nervous. So when you're in the lead, you got a lapper coming up at a road course, you don't know what they're going to do.
Especially when you have a rookie. No bad words towards the rookies, but as Devin's going to make it across the line, he's going to shake the truck as he takes the checkered flag and gets the win. And again, no ill words towards the rookies. It's just you're not used to racing around them. So it can make things a little bit more interesting as Colin Willems comes home in 2nd. Jeffrey Belk comes home 3rd. Eddie Morris and David Hartney coming back for a 5th place finish after the hard contact that we saw him getting into the wall earlier. Rebounds for a 5th place finish. Jacob Alberg comes home in 6th. Dave Wright is going to bring it home in 7th. Derek Chaput back in 8th. Austin Blaylock coming off of turn number 11. He's going to come home in 9th. And Edward Manning, who was just barely able to stay on the lead lap. He's got one more lap to go as he's going to come around in the 10th position. As Devin's going to make it all the way around here for his high-speed victory lap. Manning's going to come take the checkered flag, and that's going to do it for our first heat race. As we let's pull in Devin here and get a word with him before the second race. Devin, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Oh my gosh, Cody. Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, great run there. Great win in the heat. That was a wild finish there towards the end. Especially Eddie on old tires. He was slip sliding around. What was the difference there? And, when you saw Eddie sliding around that much, what were your thoughts going in there?
Well, Eddie ran a really good race. I mean, he'll tell you till he's blue in the face he hates road courses. So he did a really good job. We just figured something out a couple seasons ago, how to drive this place to where, 10, 12 laps into the run, the trucker car really comes to. And we kind of saw that again. Lost a little too much in the beginning of the run. Just the way we drive the place. It's kind of like Holmes said last week. It's faster to be slower in the beginning because you'll have a little bit more left at the end. So, I don't know what Eddie was doing, but something clicked for us a little while ago, and happy we're able to execute it again here.
Awesome, man. Well,
Devin, home track. I know you love it. How does it feel?
This is like my Daytona 500. It's just this place is so special. I'm not a road course guy by any means. You know, I've gotten a couple podiums, a couple top fives, but this is the one road course where I feel like I can go out and put it on, and anything less than that is really disappointing for me personally. Just going to the track for years, it's definitely different. You know, it's an awesome feeling. It's kind of like you at Mid Ohio, so it's you get how it is. So whenever we come here, I definitely want to park it in Victory Lane.
Well, Devin getting the race one here in the first one. Going to be starting from the back. How do you work your way through the field here? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say the fun part's about to start. Just got to be patient. You know, I feel like there's a lot of guys that are within, you know, the same skill gap when it comes to road courses, not in a bad way. So you know, you're gonna have to be patient, and it's so hard to pass here. Even making that move on D right was nerve wracking. Did not like doing that, and it is hard to pass here. There's only a couple opportunities. So you got to be patient, but you also got to kind of race the top 5 guys from last race because you know they're going to be there at the end. So it's a race within the race with those guys.
Well, good luck in the second race here tonight. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Didn't realize all 3 were going to jump down in here. So let's talk to our third place finisher, which would be Jeffrey Belk. Jeff, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, how you doing tonight, guys?
Man, we're doing well. Kind of a slick track out there tonight. We saw the track temperature was really high up there. It was about managing your tires and being there at the end. We saw you run down Eddie there. He didn't take tires. Is that something that might come into play here in the second race where pit strategy is going to be the key?
Oh, definitely. You're going to have to take tires in this one. He tried to play the strategy there because we didn't need enough fuel to really take tires, so he didn't go with them. And you just see how much time you lose there. I mean, we caught back from about 8 seconds back, I think.
How patient are you going to be moving back up through the field here?
You want to be one of the first ones up to the front just because it gives you more time to, you know, pull away, but at the same time, if you go for it too hard, you're liable to go into the back of someone. So you kind of have to pick and choose your battles. There's not many passing opportunities here, especially when you're double file. So it's just picking and choosing your best time to strike.
Well, Jeff, good job here in the first race here, and we look forward to seeing what goes on in the second race. So good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
And thank you.
So that was your third place finisher of that race. Let's talk to our second place finisher, Colin Williams. Colin, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth, you guys? Uh-oh, Colin, you got Josh and Cody in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
There he is. He must have been rebooting the bot squad. But man, great job here tonight. Coming home second in the first heat there, and just the track doesn't have a lot of opportunity for passing. We've seen that all night, and it seemed like there was a time where you're kind of, I don't know if that was just you trying to save some tires there in that first run. We saw Butch almost get into the back of you, much like I got in the back of you at the Xfinity race. But turn 1 seemed to be kind of a tricky corner for a lot of people, especially at the beginning of the run. Is the tire situation really that tough out there tonight? And are we going to be seeing a lot of the same in the second race?
You're asking the wrong guy, to be perfectly honest. I have no idea what I'm doing at these tracks. You almost ran in the back of me in the same corner. So that's not a Butch thing or a you thing. That's clearly a me thing. So, I back up turn 1 as the tires get hot. I don't want any tire hopping or any skidding around that corner because that can spell disaster for the entire race. So as the tires wore, I just took it easier and easier to make sure that I could finish. That's most important to me is keeping it between the lines and keeping the black side down on the track instead of facing up. So,
well, Colin, you've admittedly said you have no idea what you're doing out there. You're starting in the hornet's nest in the back. What's your strategy moving back up through here?
Go even slower and just pick my way through. I'm in no hurry to get to the front. Just open, with what I come to expect from the guys in this league is a lot of clean, fair racing. So looking forward to that. Going through the field with the little bit of speed that I do have, I'm looking forward to see what kind of scenarios I get put in and see how I can handle it. But looking forward to it.
Well, Colin, good luck here in the second race here, and hopefully we'll talk to you again at the end.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Have a good night.
You too.
Did I put him in the wrong room?
Yes.
Where'd he go?
Oh, he might have gone to for a smoke.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was gonna say I thought I put him in wasted wages, but a little bit on my side here is we got what we're doing right now is take a little intermission here. We have a little warm up here before the second race. But Cody, let's talk about that first one there. I mean, that was wild. We saw drivers use different strategies, sliding around. What do you expect to see in the second one?
I expect to see a lot more chaos. These guys in the back, just have speed and even, we saw in qualifying, there's a big difference from first to even fifth or sixth. Hopefully they can navigate around it and everyone can be clean here, but I think that's definitely going to be a worry in this race. Another thing is too, I think what Jeff said is right. I think you have to take tires at the midway point here, and you have to pit with the people you're racing, or else the fall off's just going to be too much.
Well, you just stole my second question, which was going to be how do you approach this one and what kind of strategy you use, but you kind of just spelled it out right there. Pitted halfway, and we know you like the strategy, especially when it comes to quote unquote stage racing. Even though this isn't truly stage racing, but as road course, it kind of is a stage. You kind of run the race backwards, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't love stage racing as much as Brian Nudie loves stage racing.
Well, speaking of Nudie, usually he's here by now. I'm not sure where he is tonight, but man, if he was out here tonight, we can guarantee one thing: he would definitely come in second.
That was my thing before I couldn't race anymore. So I think I'd taken that title from him, but yeah, he definitely would be probably second in both races had he run tonight.
We just got our first message here in the chat from Devin saying, "I love Cody Moore."
Oh, well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I love you too.
So we're just getting ready for our second race to grid up here before we go back to racing for 30 laps. Again, full invert, which means the winner of the race is going to start dead last. The person who finished last is going to start right up front. So it's going to make for an interesting start because you're going to have a lot of slower guys up front, up at the front here. And especially going down into turn number one for the first time, that could play into this a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's good to see. I was just gonna say I'd like to see Eddie kind of get some redemption here. I think he has been putting the work in, and I don't think he hates road courses as much as he used to. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
That is for sure.
And can we get a Chapua top 3? I mean, can that just happen once?
He's shown some speed the last few weeks as well. Maybe not here at the road courses, but we have seen him show some speed here and there. So we'll have to see if he's able to get something rolling here tonight. Of course, we want to mention next week. Of course, we still have one more race to go here, but join us next week as well, as we got 2 more awesome races. The Truck Series will be taking on Atlanta, and the Xfinity Series takes on Atlanta tomorrow night, and then next week they will be moving on to Darlington for their double points night.
New Atlanta?
New Atlanta, yes. Tomorrow night, Xfinity, New Atlanta. First time those cars have run there in this series, so it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken a lap around the New Atlanta.
Well, here is your starting lineup for our second race here tonight. Of course, complete invert. We see Brett Merle on pole, Brian Merle Jr. in second. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence rolls off from third with Edward Manning in the 4th spot. Austin Blaylock rolls off 5th with Derek Chaput back in 6th. Dave Wright and Jacob Ziggy Alberg back in 8th. Dave Hartney, Eddie Morris, row 5. Jeffrey Belk, Colin Willems, row 6. And starting at the tail of the field will be the 68th of Devin Butchino.
Real quick too, another thing to watch out for is hopefully some of these slower trucks don't get nervous and cause an issue for some of the faster trucks going into turn 1.
Yeah, I was trying to mention that in the pre-race, and watch for tire spin here on the opening lap as well. We've seen these trucks get some tire spin, especially on a hot track like this and cold tires, as the green flag is in the air and the field comes rocketing down into turn 1 for the first time. And Brett's going to easily get out in front of his brother to take over that top spot. But here comes Junior trying to make a pass up into the S's. Side by side through the S's they come, and Brian is going to try to take that top spot away, but Brett not giving him an inch there. Side by side off of turn number 4.
And this is what the pack does not want to see.
Cheeseburger right there behind as well as they come side by side down into the bus stop. Oh, some contact.
Oh, nicely done.
Oh, one driver.
Oh, we got trouble in the back.
Albert is around in the back. Morris goes around
Danny
as well. He's able to get it straightened out. Doesn't look like too much damage to that 8 machine, as you might have just spun it trying to avoid the incident, as Junior now out in front. Junior Nation is on their feet as Brian Merle Jr. is looking to lead the first lap of our second race. And let's take a look to see exactly what happened here at the back of the field. And we'll go here from the blimp because I think it'll give us the best view. Down into the corner, and we see, actually this isn't going to be a very good view.
Oh, Hartney, too hot.
Hartney got in there a little hot, got into the side of Dave Wright. Oh, look at Butch. Butch almost plowed into the 43. He was able to hold on to it. Albert taking evasive action goes down through the grass there. And see Hartney way up on the high side. And oh, does the 11 catch the 8 here? He does, just barely catches the left rear bumper of that 8 machine. And that's what spins the 8 there. Colin Williams able to go through the grass and avoid that as well. So
yeah, he just needs to settle back in. It's not over.
while that was going on, Brett Merle retook the lead. Let's take a look at how he did it down into the bus stop. Just textbook pass down into the bus stop. Well, we were talking about patience and having some patience here today, and Devin Butchino's up into the 6th spot already. Jeffrey Belk is up into 5th as he's trying to take a position away from Derek Chaput down into turn number 1. So when they say patience, they were talking about being aggressive as possible, huh?
Yeah, and keep an eye on Belk here. He's got a lot of speed on road courses, especially after that first race. He can kind of use as a practice race. So this might be not a gimme now that Devin's up there and Eddie's out.
And it looks like there's some damage to the left front of that 54 machine. So he tries to make a move around Cheeseburger into the bus stop here. As let's jump on the roof of this machine. And yeah, you can just see that left front has just a little bit of damage. There's a great look at it there from the side. So not an aerodynamic track by any means, but having that little bit of suspension damage can really slow down the truck, not because of, again, aerodynamics, but if he did any suspension damage there, that could really eat up that right front tire, or left front tire, excuse me, which at a place like Watkins Glen, where it's primarily right-hand turns, that's the tire that takes the most abuse. So he takes a look down to the inside of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, trying to take over that 3rd spot. He will clear him going up into the S's. So move Belk up into the 3rd spot as the Merles continue to do battle up here at the front. Junior's really come into his own on these road courses lately. He's got a little bit of speed as Belk takes the dive down into the bus stop. And oh, almost some contact And Junior almost loses it right in front of Devin Bacino.
Wow. Nice save.
Devin's heart must have been pumping right there as he saw the side of that 13 machine in his face.
That's the hornet's nest.
Exactly, you talked about it earlier. Actually, right along with Devin here, and you can see exactly what he saw. We'll go slow speed here as he see that 13 is literally right in the grass there. And that had to be a heart moment for that driver of the 68 there. I believe we call that pucker factor Zulu right there.
Wow, Belk he has got some speed right now.
And he learned something in that first race. We know that the tires give up at about 15 laps. So if you cut this in half, 15 and 15, you can use those tires up right now. As he's going to try to make the move on the outside going into the bus stop. And, ooh, a little bit of a hip check right there between him and Brett. Had to remember which Merle that was. And Brett's trying to make the move back down to the inside.
Yeah, I don't think Brett was too happy about that one.
Jeff is going to finish the pass. And when it comes into the bus stop there, that's really just a racing deal. I mean, it's a good passing opportunity, but it's really tough to go side by side through there.
Yeah, it's just usually somebody gets a little frustrated with somebody else going in there. But you're right, it's a great passing opportunity. You have to take advantage of it.
Oh, Jeffrey Belk out in front of Devin Butchnow now. Brett Merle sits back second. Oh, we got one around. It looks like it is David Wright here who spun it around in turn number one. He's going to get it going back in the right direction. As the Glen claims another one in turn number one. To me, that looked like a bit of wheel hop getting down into the corner.
Yeah, whenever you get wheel hop like that, you actually, it's counterintuitive. You want to give it about 5% throttle on to get that wheel hop right out of it.
Oh, it wasn't wheel hop. Oh my.
Ooh.
That was that was a pile up. It looks like he ran into the back of Austin Blaylock, got into Brad Merle Jr., and then it just all started right there. So what I thought was wheel hop ended up being contact.
Yeah, it's going to be a question of how patient is Devin here with Jeffrey, and is Devin confident that he's doing better tire management than Jeff Belk here?
Now, the competitor you wants to lead, but is it worth beating up the tires to get out in front of somebody at this point?
Well, yeah, and you got to keep in mind, too, of the added pressure of right now, all the pressure's on Jeffrey, and if Devin goes in front and Jeffrey stays on him, then that's added pressure onto Devin, and that, I always say half of this is mental.
And Devin just gets to look out the windshield. He doesn't have to look in the mirror like Jeff does.
Exactly. Yeah, and I like what he did going into turn one. He probably knew he wasn't going to outbrake him and pass him, but he stuck the nose out just to let Jeffrey know he's there.
And there's really
he's on him like blue.
Yeah, there's really two ways you can let the driver in front of you know you're there. You can get out in his mirror and just say, hey, I'm here, or you can give him a little bump and say, I'm right here as well. There was a great modified driver up here in the Northeast who unfortunately passed away in a helicopter incident not too long ago. A man named Teddy Christopher. And he kind of invented the 3-bump method. First bump says, I'm here. The second bump says, I'm faster. The third bump says, you're going around.
It's well said. Both trucks look under control here, and doesn't look like anybody's using the tires up very much at all.
The other question is, how much is that damage to that left front actually hurting that 54?
I can never judge that, so I don't I don't really know. I wouldn't think it would be hurting that much because it didn't seem like severe damage. But oh, here we go.
Down, the pass into the bus stop. Howard drives real deep into the
Wow.
bus stop, and man, he was able to make that stick.
Yeah, that didn't. I didn't think that was going to end well there for a second.
How about this? Colin Williams up into the 5th spot, working on the back bumper of Derek Chaput. We see that same left front camber with that 11 machine, probably from that hip check that we saw earlier.
Chaput with a good run.
He's really holding his own right now as he's trying to take a look down underneath Brett Merle, and they're going to stay in line. And hey, how about we do a little road course, pump up the intensity here?
Love it.
Great sights and sounds here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. And you know, for someone who's been to this track, it's a really neat track to go to because there's so many different vantage points that you get being at the track that you don't see from the stands or from the TV views. Like, you don't realize.
Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list.
What was that?
I said it's definitely on my bucket list.
You don't realize how fast these trucks are entering this bus stop, or even how fast they're going through the bus stop. It's incredible watching these trucks. You don't realize the elevation changes at this track as well. I mean, it's one thing to see it on the track or be in the driver's seat in the sim, but when you're there, it's just a whole nother story. As Eddie Morris has moved himself up into the 4th position. Brian Merle Jr. had some issues. Let's go back and see what happened to Jr. here down into turn number 1. And that's got every indication there of starting with wheel hop and trying to hold on to it and just catching the curb wrong. Ooh, more issues on track. It looks like Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence just had an issue. Let's see what happened to Cheesy here in turn number 11. And yeah, just a little too hard on the gas and avoids the barrels. That's the important part. He avoided the barrels at the end of pit road. And look at the evasive move that Ziggy had to make. Ziggy zigged and zagged right there to get around.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people get really crooked off that final corner there and have a hard time putting the power back down.
Up front, Devin Butchino out in front by a second, but coming through turn 5 there, Jeff started to gain a little bit on that 68 machine, and it seems like there's a couple spots on the track where Devin is much faster than Jeff, and other spots where Jeff is really able to reel him back in. As we see a little bit more damage to the left side of that 54 machine.
Yeah, now I know we're probably still looking another 5 laps here, but if you're Jeffrey, do you short pit Devin here to try to get the lead and hold him off? Or do you just pass him coming up here? Because he's definitely seems to be getting closer.
Yeah, the interval is now half a second as we see that 54 really sliding around through the S's, and he is quickly gaining on that 68 machine. And that goes back to what you were talking about earlier. Now Devin has a mirror to deal with. Oh, Belk really sliding it through the carousel there. He's going to lose a little bit of time. Now that interval grows back to almost a second.
And these two, though, have really checked out on the field.
And a unique thing we can do here on iRacing is we can actually take a look at the actual view, the cockpit view, if you will, of what Devin Butchino is seeing right now. And you see down into the corner, he looks into that mirror and you can see Jeffrey there in that mirror, inching closer and closer as they come up through the S's. Oh, you can't see it because the Morris Custom logo is in the way. But as they come up through the S's here, see the roof of that white truck just inching ever so slightly to the 68 of Devin Butchino.
Yeah, we'll see if Jeff learns his lesson through the carousel here. Ooh, Devin gets loose.
The interval now just about half a second. We can put that delta right here up on the screen so you can see. Yeah, 0.3. Jeff is right there on the back bumper. Down into turn number one is Jeff's not close enough to dive it in there, but does he do what Butch did a few laps ago and just kind of peek down there and say, hey, look, I'm getting there. Kind of try to distract him a little bit. If this was sports car racing, you know Jeffrey would be on the button right now trying to flash the headlights, trying to get that 68 a little bit out of shape. As Devin's able to hold off that 54 machine for right now. Our first taker down on the pit road is the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. He's going to make his way down towards pit road, towards his pit stall. His service to get done on that truck. Ooh, issues for Edward Manning here. Coming down into turn number one. And I have a feeling this is all the indications of wheel hop here into the corner. Yep, exactly what you see there. A little bit of wheel hop. Able to hold on to it. For those watching that don't know what wheel hop is, Devin Butchino on pit road. Devin, the first truck down on the pit road of the leaders. So Belk stays out here as Colin Willems also makes his way down on the pit road. So for those...
Now this is where...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, this is really crucial for Jeffrey to run a really good in-lap here and a really good out-lap if he wants to stay with Devin, because the tire disadvantage is going to be, it's going to be 3 seconds here, or a little, maybe even a little over.
For sure. We're going back to what happened there to Manning. We talk about wheel hop. What that is it's really easy to lock up the rear brakes, and once that happens, locked wheels want to lead, and in a track like that, a corner like that, the back end will actually start hopping like a basketball across the track. And when the wheels skip it across the track like that, it has no grip, and it just wants to go right around, and that's exactly what we saw with the 69 of Manning. Now let's see if Jeffrey Belk makes his way down on the pit road this time. And if I was him, I would definitely come down on the pit road as he's trying to get everything he can to the pits here, and he is going to take that hard right-hand turn. And Cheeseburger back on pit road. Something tells me that 47 sped. He's going to have to do a drive-through here. And that is going to give the lead back to the 8 of Eddie Morris. How about that? Eddie spun earlier trying to avoid an incident. Now he finds himself out in front. However, with no cautions, how far behind has he fallen to the rest of the field?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hole to get out of. But really nice recovery though to start putting down some laps.
We see Cheeseburger and Chaput on pit road. Belk has made his way back out onto the track, and he came out behind Devin Butchino by quite a bit, a second and a half.
Yeah, and I'd expect that because he came in a lap later, and yeah, that's just that fresh rubber. It's really hard to to stay in contention especially at a road course like this where the fall off's 3 seconds a lap. But we'll see if on a little fresher rubber you can reel him back in. We'll see here.
We'll have to see if Devin's able to improve on his times. His best time so far has been a 1:15.1, where Eddie Morris, his best time was a 1:14, and that must have been right after he spun and had that open track. Also, let's ride on board here with Devin because I want to see if he's changed his shifting style at all. Yeah, still staying in third gear down through turn number 1. So and up into fourth gear really early. Right there, it hits fourth gear. Typically, you're not hitting fourth gear until about right here, trying to get that launch down the backstretch. Hard braking right here at the 6. Again, only down to third gear, so. But it's working for him, so I can't really fault the guy for doing what is working best for him.
Yeah, that must be what he was mentioning earlier about they kind of figured out something.
Eddie Morris down on pit road along with David Hartney. Both drivers have damage from an earlier incident. Doesn't look like Eddie's damage was really hurting him too much. Ooh! Somebody just had an incident here right in front of the leaders, I believe. It was, no, it was Jeffrey Belk. Jeffrey Belk just lost it.
Oh, no, he got caught up by Albert.
Got caught up by Albert.
Oh, that's a shame. That's why you hold your brake.
Yep, and wow, what an unfortunate turn of events for Jeffrey Belk, who was having such a good run, and you hate to see it. I'm not saying that because he's my teammate. I actually, you hate to see it.
Yeah, and for those people new to racing or new to iRacing, I mean, that's why they say hold your brake. Just make sure you're clear of all traffic, and you usually want to try to get off the track as soon as you can and then turn around when you're in safety.
And I think that's what he was trying to do. He was right in the racing line. So I think he was trying to roll off of the racing line. But, I don't know. It's
when in doubt, just hold your brake.
Well, that's going to give Devin Butchino a 13-second lead over second place Colin Willems, as Dave Hartney now has some issues as he's around. Oh, him and Brett Merle got together here. Let's see what happened to Hartney and Brett. I think Brett may have got a little loose here. That's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, nothing Hartney could do there, as that 11 was completely sideways. Now we've got a little gaggle of cars here as Hartney's trying to make his way back through the field. How about this? Eddie Morris, Colin Willems. Morris around the outside and up into the second position.
Great recovery.
But with
I don't
I was going to say a 13.5-second gap up to Devin. I don't think that's going to be manageable, as Eddie's still giving it everything he's got. You saw him completely sideways off the corner there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Eddie's going to reel him in, but stranger things have happened.
Well, we did just see the second place driver get taken out by a lap car. That happened right behind Devin Butchino. I think he might have even seen that in his mirror. Is that on his mind now?
I don't think it's on his mind until he sees a lapper here. But yeah, if he sees a lapper, we can go Brian Nudie season 2 of iOS days and take the leader out.
Issues for Dave Wright down into turn number 1. Didn't jump the curb, just got a little too hard onto the throttle there and looped it right around in the short chute between turns 1 and 2. Stranger things have happened. Eddie Morris has now cut that lead down to 13 seconds. Last time by, Butch ran a 14.9 and Eddie ran a 14.1. Eddie just laid down the fastest lap of the race last lap. I think running the 24 hours with Eddie, he kind of got used to this whole road course thing and may have figured something out. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean Eddie looks really, really good. What was the 24 hours team?
That was a last-minute thrown-together team. It was Eddie, myself, Atlee, Joe Wright, John Goke, and David Hartney.
Oh, awesome!
So a big team. It was a fun race. We had our issues, as we always, as you usually do in a 24-hour race like that. Trying to keep it clean on the track. I ran I double stinted and was or triple stinted. And able to take the car home in one piece, so that was always, exciting.
Well, congratulations. That's a big accomplishment. I hope to get it back into that next year.
For sure. We just had the 24 hours of Bathurst just happened this week? Or is it this weekend?
12.
It's the 12. Yep, 12 of Bathurst this weekend.
That's my favorite race of all. I love Bathurst. My favorite track by far.
So it looks like a couple drivers have retired. The 00 of Jacob Ziggy Albert has retired from the race, as well as the 54 of Jeffrey Belk have retired. Actually, it says right here in the chat, the 54 Dirtbag Clothing Machine has retired from the event due to engine damage. We're devastated at tonight's outcome and having a great chance of our second top 3 in tonight's event. And, to understand him being sore after that one for sure. Well, don't look now. Eddie's cut the lead down to 12 seconds. There's only 9 laps to go. Lap traffic has already come into play once. We'll have to see if it comes into play again here tonight.
I mean, stranger things have happened. Like I said, don't turn it off yet. It's nothing's guaranteed.
I've been seeing down in our feed here a lot of drivers getting off track, and not sure what happened to Derek Chaput. Let's take a look here. Chaput, stuffed it in the wall. This looks like it is off of turn 11, so Chaput having some issues there on the last corner. Fortunately, he was able to get off the track to not impede any driver's progress. Well, 8 laps to go. Devin Butchino out in front by 12 seconds, and you got to imagine he's just kind of on cruise control right now.
Yeah, not pushing too hard, not abusing the truck. Just trying to bring it home in one piece and to get it to the end here.
Then you look at Eddie Morris, sits back in second, 11.5 seconds back, and he's pushing hard.
Yeah.
See just how much he's jumping those curbs, sliding that truck around. Try to make something happen here in the closing laps. You can see the attitude of that truck as it comes through the carousel as well. Really getting that truck to rotate through the carousel. And that's a corner that you can gain so much speed if you can get the truck to rotate just right.
Yeah, and it's really hard to hit the, to get back on the gas at just the right time coming off that carousel. Because, like you said, if you get it right, you can really get a run down that straightaway.
You get it wrong, though, you can get it very wrong.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get up, drive into the carousel a little too hard and get up on that flat up there, too.
Yeah, the carousel, it's really a thing of patience. It's people think it's kind of an easier corner because all it is just a circle, but you really have to be patient through that corner to just give it the right amount of gas, sometimes drag a little bit of brake, and then get back on the gas.
I always joke around with the carousel. If you want to get on the throttle in the carousel, you wait until you think you should get on it, then wait a little bit longer, and then maybe a little bit longer, and then hit the gas.
That's exactly.
There's a couple tracks on the circuit like that, though. You think about like, oh, Eddie putting some tire marks down there, getting sideways off the corner. You think about New Hampshire. New Hampshire's another track where you want to get to the gas so early, but you just have to wait on it and just, think about it, if you will.
New Hampshire's one of those tracks that when it's working, it's an enjoyable track. But like you said, if you can't figure that place out, or you're just off a little bit, that place can be really, really frustrating.
I was kind of surprised a couple years ago when I ran in the truck series with you guys, just how I was able to get the truck to rotate on the apron at New Hampshire and make it work.
Yeah, New Hampshire's pretty wild how you can make it work kind of in places you'd never think would work. You can sometimes get that second lane going.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you watch the Cup guys at California or Michigan running down on the apron. Fortunately, you won't see drivers doing that at California anymore, as the track has officially started underway its transition into a short track. Which is a shame, because that's one of my favorite tracks to drive here on iRacing.
Yeah, I really like Auto Club. I wish they would just turn Texas into Auto Club.
Or they could have somehow integrated a short track into that long oval. I mean, you run Charlotte 2 different configurations. Why not run a different track too?
Yeah, I heard on Auto Club, it's just that land value just got so high that they just could not, they just couldn't keep it as a track.
Even the road course at Auto Club is interesting. It's very flat. It's almost like a driving school, but it's an interesting and fun little road course.
Yeah, I enjoy that. There's word of virtual super truck series going there at some point in time.
Well, we got 5 laps to go. Devin still out in front. That lead is now 12.3 seconds. And Eddie's times are actually starting to drop a little bit. Last time by, he was almost a second slower than Devin that lap. So it looks like Eddie may have burnt those tires off completely. There is still a 3-second gap between Eddie and Colin. But the question is Colin going to run down that 8 machine?
Yeah, well, Devin's just slow but steady here, and I don't know what Colin's lap times are looking like here, but yeah, I mean, if Eddie was just pushing too hard, kind of like he did the first race, maybe Colin can reel him in here.
Well, let's take a look as they come down the line this time. Last time they crossed the line, Devin ran a 1:16.26. Eddie ran a 1:15.69. Colin ran a 1:16.24, so Eddie back on the ball just a little bit. The lap before that, Eddie ran a 1:16 and Colin ran a 1:15. So those two kind of trading back and forth some lap times. How about this top 5? We've got Austin Blaylock having a nice quiet race, sitting back in the 4th position. As I say that, he gets off track just a little bit, but able to hold on to it. So Austin running back in the 4th position. And then we saw him in the first race lead some laps. We see D. Wright running back in the 5th spot. But he's got his teammate Dave Hartney right behind as well.
Yeah, really good run for D right here.
Oh, Brett Merle is sideways off of the last corner right in front of Devin Butchno. Fortunately for him, he was able to, actually I take it back, that was Brian Merle Jr. Thought it was Brett, but it was Brian. They were right here. You see Jr. get really loose there and wrecks for 3 corners there and stuffs into the wall. Backs it up right in front of Devin Butchino. Look at that. Devin must have been having a bit of flashbacks there of what Belk just saw.
That was good by 69 to let him by there. It's nice to see.
Yeah, Edward Manning letting the leader by. We have just 3 laps to go. Because of that incident, though, Eddie's cut the lead down to 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure the Neon Racing team radio was quite lively during that exchange.
Looks like Junior's having some more issues. As he has looped it back again. This looks like, I believe this is the carousel? Yeah, that is definitely the carousel. Got up into the flat. I guarantee if we watch this, let's take a look here. It looks like he might have got a little loose here. Right in front of Colin this time. Got a little loose, drives it up onto the flat, and once you're up on that flat up there, there's just no grip.
Yeah, and I think that was maybe he was trying to do a good deed there and let Colin by. And like you said, if you start getting out on that flat, that truck will not turn.
Well, 2 laps to go. Last time by, Butch ran a 117. Eddie ran a 116. Colin ran a 116. And that gap is now just under 10 seconds as Austin Blaylock has some issues. Austin Blaylock's on pit road. Austin Blaylock pitting from the 4th position, moving D right up into the 5th spot. And I'm not sure why he's on pit road. Maybe he pit way too early and didn't have enough gas to make it to the end.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can figure. That is an odd time to pit.
Well, we can actually do this and see when the pit stop lap was, and Blaylock was on pit road on lap 7. So looks like it's a fuel issue as Devin takes the white flag, looking to sweep the weekend here at Watkins Glen. He's got just about a 10-second lead over Eddie Morris as looks like more issues for Austin Blaylock as he just lost it coming off of pit road.
Oh.
And he's going to be slow here as Eddie Morris is going to be catching him quickly. Devin up into the bus stop. There are 2 lap trucks in front of him that are currently battling it out. That looked like Brett Merle and Derek Chaput. Chaput is a lap down and Merle is a little bit quicker. Is that going to play anything in as Butchino comes off of turn number 5? And heading down the chute here towards turns 10 and 11. Final 2 corners for the 68. Off of turn 10 through turn 11. Coming down to the stripe. And Devin Butchino is going to sweep the racing here at Watkins Glen. And you know that is a happy man right now. So he was able to get both wins. And the second one wasn't easy, having to start in the back of the field.
Eddie Morris coming home P2 after spinning early is impressive as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. Kyle Williams brings it home in 3rd. Here's David Wright. He's got David Hartney right behind him. So the 2 Davids here battling for 4th and 5th. Looks like Wright's going to be a bit in front of Hartney as they come down to the stripe. And IDBC comes across the stripe in 4th and 5th. How about this man right here? The driver of the 68 Dev Sports Cars machine. Series sponsor in the Xfinity Series and getting the win here tonight. Getting both wins here tonight. As he's still just weaving that truck around, and I think we're going to see some nose here. I didn't notice the damage to the right rear of that machine.
Oh, yeah. Might have gotten a little too close to the wall, but obviously it didn't affect him too bad.
Or could that have been with the hip check there? No, that was Belk that gave the hip check to Merle. You see our top 3 lining up here on the front stretch. And Devin's gonna celebrate his win here tonight. Burning it out all the way down the front stretch. He doesn't want to bring any rubber back on those tires.
He deserves it. Well done.
Well, I said if he was going to be a happy man, I think that celebration right there kind of really speaks volumes about how he feels. Let's take a look at the finishing results here. Devin Butchino sweeps the night here at Watkins Glen, winning both races. Eddie Morris rebounds for a second place finish. Kyle Williams brings it home in 3rd. Dave Wright and Dave Hartney, your top 5. Brett Merle, after having some issues, comes home in 6th. Austin Blaylock back in the 7th spot. Brian Merle Jr. in 8th. Michael Lawrence and Derek Chaput, your top 10. Ed Manning brings it home in 11th. Jeffrey Belk in 12th. And Jacob Albert in the 13th spot here tonight. As we get ready to talk to our top 3. Let's see if we can get a word in. I gotta get my camera set up here. All right, let's bring in our 3rd place finisher, Colin Willems. Colin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Cody's here as well. Man, great run. I know you're not a road course guy, you said, but man, able to come home tonight in the 3rd spot. Good run in both races. Did you learn anything in the first one that really helped you out in the second one here tonight?
Yeah, I guess like road course racing even more the second time around. So that's what I learned. No, it was fun. Yeah, coming up through the field, I got caught up in a bit of an incident there, which destroyed the rear end of my truck and made it absolutely undrivable. I was all over the place, couldn't keep the truck underneath me, so I pitted a little bit earlier than I had planned to. But even on cold, fresh tires, the truck was way easier to drive than it was when it was all banged up. So, I don't know what happened to Belk. It's unfortunate whatever did happen because he was wicked fast. But happy for Devin for getting them both and for Eddie getting a second place there.
Colin, while you didn't win the race, you were the highest finishing Canadian. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm proud to represent the homeland here. I know there's a lot of eyes watching when it comes to the highest finishing Canadian. I know Vegas was probably going nuts earlier, but just glad we could put on a good show. Feel for Chappie there. He was, we were both poised to get a top 5. So I guess he scuffed the wall and it snagged him and got him stuck in it. So sucks for him because I mean we were looking at both finish in the top 5.
Well, a good run for you here tonight. Back-to-back top 3s. Before we let you go here tonight, Colin, anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs you got to give?
Yes, I got to thank my lovely wife, Cassie, as always. Got to thank my teammates, plural this time, at Wasted Wages Racing. Chappie and Cody, great to hear your voice again, man. You know we love you. We're here for you for anything you need, so don't hesitate.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Glad to have you back around. It feels right now, you know what I mean? So I want to thank all the admins who put on a good league. I want to thank Intensity Broadcasting for putting on a great show every week, and everybody who races here consistently every week. Couldn't do it without everybody, so thanks to all.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium here tonight, and good luck tomorrow night at Atlanta.
Thanks, sir. Have a good night.
That's your third place finisher, Colin Williams. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Who? Josh and who?
Cody Moore.
Oh my sweet baby Jesus, he is alive. I love you, buddy. What's up? Cody Moore.
I love you too, buddy.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Both races, the first race strategy just didn't pay off for you. You may have learned a little bit there coming home. P2 in the second race, got caught up in a little incident there in the bus stop and really set you back a bit, but you were able to drive yourself back up towards the front. What did you learn in that race, the first race, and what were you able to do to get yourself back in a position here at the end?
I learned I should have took tires, not just a splash. But the way Devin came out on the relative there, I thought he may have done the same thing, but I was talking to him and he said he didn't. I don't know, man. He was catching me pretty good at the end of that run, which I don't know if I was thinking about it and everything else. I was pretty quick at the first of the run, so I definitely probably should have took some tires there, but I didn't. It is what it is. So I think we finished 4th in that one, so that's not a good, not a bad points day. And then P2 here and led a lap. So, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, so we were looking at the pit road times in the first race. Did you have an issue going down pit road? Because we saw your pit stop was quite a bit shorter than Devin, but your overall time on pit road was quite a bit longer.
Yeah, I think whenever we're here in the Xfinity cars, I think the I don't know if the pit speed limit changes or whatever, but I thought it was 35 and it was evidently 40. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I hate to say it, it's always 40.
It probably is, but man, everything. This left and right stuff, man, I am just not a fan of it. I mean, I'm cool with it, if it's tracks that I can remember and stuff like that, but just left and right, bro. Like halfway through it, I'm just like, I'm in days, like I get lost. I'm like, squirrel. Hey, we've watched from over here. Me and Josh was watching these cars at this section right there. That's where we were. And then next thing you know, I overdrive a corner and then I start screwing up and then I look in my mirror and people are on me and then that just messes me up more. So.
Well, one last question I got for you. Did running the 24 help you at all learning how to run these road courses a little bit better?
No, I think getting my A license helped more than anything as far as road racing goes. Because, I mean, I like to think that I was pretty horrible to begin with when we first started this shindig. And I'm pretty confident that I can get at least a top 5 or top 8, and I'm not like trying to like puff my chest out or anything because, man, there's some damn good road racers in here. Cody when he's here, Nudie when he's here. Of course, Bacino sweeping both tonight. Will Witt, he's good at road courses. Jeffrey Belk, Hartney's pretty good at road courses. Joe's pretty decent. So yeah, man, it's not like it's easy competition. So, but I think I like to attribute that to getting my A license in road and just learning stuff through running different cars and stuff like that. So.
Well, again, awesome job here tonight coming home P2. Before we let you go, I know you got a list of people you want to thank, so go for it.
Man, I hate everybody. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate everybody that lets me do this. The admin, Nudie, Bacino, Sylvan, Hartney, the whole gang there. My teammates, I'm hoping Nudie's still my teammate. Joe, Austin Blaylock, Dustin Dean, he sucks. Yeah, man. Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Morris Customs, and of course, Dev Sports Cards. If you're in the market for any any sort of sports memorabilia, definitely be a good place to check out for that. Would be on eBay at Dev Sports Cards. Um, yeah, man. That's it.
Awesome, man. Again, congrats on the P2 and good luck tomorrow night at Atlanta.
Appreciate it, brother.
Have a good night.
You too.
See you, buddy.
See you, brother.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut him off.
That's my fault.
All right, well, let's bring in your winner here tonight. The driver of the 68 Dev Sports Cards machine, Dev Bacino. Dev, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
I got you guys.
Man, great job here tonight with the win. Just dominating fashion. Had to work your way through the field. You saw what happened to Belk behind you, and then you had a couple cars spin out in front of you early. Did that kind of get in your mind there at the end, trying to just stay clean and not have to worry about other people?
Yeah, the Albert one was definitely a pucker moment. You could say that because I saw him get, or I don't know if he wheel hopped, but he ended up, nose first into the wall in 11. And when I was coming to him, he was still moving, so it's a guessing game at that point. And we went left, and I think we just kept it on the track. We didn't get any X's from it, but it was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. And then I saw the yellow flag pop in my upper left corner for Junior, and I didn't know who it was. So I look at my relative, and I see Junior's parked, and I'm like, just hold the brakes, hold the brakes, hold the brakes. And he's able to hold it. We're able to get by. But I feel awful for Jeff getting caught up with Albert. I know Albert didn't mean it. I know he feels awful about it. I think it was going to be a really good race between me and Jeff. He ended up, being a little quicker than us on the long run at the end of that first stint. So I think the end of that race would have been really interesting.
Yeah, you were talking that you figured something out in that first race. Is it just smooth and steady and stay a gear above usually where you'd want to be, or is it something else?
Yeah, we kind of played around with it. I actually learned it a while back driving behind. I think it was you. You or Nudie might have said something, and I just kept it out a second. I give up that go speed in the beginning of the run, but I've noticed it definitely saves the rear tires keeping it in third. There's definitely sections of the track where I give up a lot. Like turn one, shift really early in the S's coming up, so we give up a little bit of speed through the S's, but a little more control, popping it into fourth, get less rear tire spin. So just logged a lot of laps here and found out that worked. And like I said in race one, I'm just happy we were able to execute because there are a lot of fast guys tonight.
Well, got to bring this one up. I noticed that you got a bit of left rear damage. Where'd that come from? Was that early in the run? Was that incident that happened in the inner loop on the beginning of the race?
I don't know what that was. I don't think so. Because I looked in my mirror and I just saw people wrecking. I didn't get any X from that. I think I was trying to run down Belk and we tail slapped out of 11. So I'm 90% sure it was when that happened because I got a 0X from it, but it was enough to tail slap that guardrail out of 11. So I'm pretty sure that's what it came from.
Well, great job tonight, Devin. Before you let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give?
Yeah, I just want to shout out everyone at Intensity, you, Atlee, Dayton. Thank you for letting us do this. We love going back and watching these races. The entire admin team for the SCSRA, they all do a great job. Everything they do. Got to thank Morris Customs for the awesome paint. Dev Sports Cards, new craft, fine jewelry and design. McKinleyville Barbershop. Shout out to Brody Merle. He signed to a future contract for the Neon Racing. Shout out to my parents because we're going to watch this, and shout out to you, Cody. I love you, man. Cannot wait to have you back out here with us. It was really cool to hear your voice up there tonight. So I hope you're doing well.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
I'll have a great night. Good luck tomorrow night at Atlanta.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Have a great night. Well, Cody, that's gonna do it here tonight. But man, what a race!
Yeah, I appreciate you having me up here, Josh. I had a good time. Yeah, and hopefully we can do a few more of these.
For sure. Maybe if Nudie ends up showing up again, we can have all three of us in the booth, and we can have lots of expert advice.
He's more involved though.
Yeah, he's trying to be more involved. That's for sure. But man, I look forward to tomorrow night at Atlanta, the new Atlanta in the Xfinity Series. So don't forget to check that out at 9:30 Eastern here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, we want to thank all of our great partners here between the SCSRA and Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, We want to thank Morris Customs as the series sponsor, Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring the Xfinity Series, Race EPI for iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com, IntensityBroadcasting.com, where you can support the channel, and Atman Weiss's racing career. His gear is up there on the website as well. Of course, the butt kicker, if you're looking for that extra little edge, that little haptic feedback, that little seat of the pants feel, check out thebuttkicker.com. And that's going to do it for myself and Cody Moore. We want to thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting, on iRacing, and of course, as our boy Atman Weiss would say,